Welcome to Friday Friends, RI Elder Info's weekly look at the organizations and individuals providing resources for Rhode Island seniors, caregivers, and professionals.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. It is the first Friday in June. It is a lovely day. And you know, I am Deb Burton, the host of Friday Friends. And every Friday at 9, I come on here to share with you information and resources that you or someone you know needs to know about. So make sure you hit the like button, the share button, all those social media bells and whistles that let people know, hey, check this out. This is really important. Now, as you know, we are a 501c3 nonprofit, and we could not bring this show to you without the support of our sponsors. So a huge thank you to McCarthy Law, as well as Washington Trust. They have been absolutely wonderful sponsors for Friday Friends, as well as Point 32 Health, United Healthcare, and Oak Street Health. I cannot leave out the help of 321 Media, who really makes this all come together for me, and England Studio. It is one of those situations where many hands make the load light. So I'm not sure if you're aware, if you're a longtime viewer, you are, but if you're one of my newer viewers, you may not be aware that the month of June is World Elder Abuse Awareness Month. And all of our shows, all of our Friday Friends in the month of June are dedicated to raising awareness of elder abuse, as well as what are the contact information that you can reach out to if you suspect that someone needs help. And so I understand that some of the things that we may talk about this month may not necessarily be comfortable, but it's important topics because 1 in 10 older adults, 1 in 10 report elder abuse. So for every one individual who reports, there are 10 people who don't. So I understand that this conversation and the conversations this month might make some people feel uncomfortable or think, oh yeah, that doesn't really apply to me, but it does. But I also respect that if you feel uncomfortable that you need to tune out, and that's okay too. So if you need to check out, I get it, but please share the video first, because when there's only 1 in 10 who are reporting, there's a lot of folks out there that we need to be able to reach, and we need your help to do that. So when you think about elder abuse, I think a lot of times we think of a punch in the face, maybe, the black eyes, the bruises, and those are 100% elder abuse, when people are being assaulted, no question. And we all know that if we're seeing something, we have to say something. If it's, right there, somebody's in imminent danger, of course you're going to call 911, right? I mean, everybody knows that part. But I think we might see things that make us say, yeah, something's not quite right. And then we don't know what to do with that information. Like we get the sense that something's a little off and we're not sure what it is. I think a lot of times, the physical abuse, sexual abuse, we have really clear-cut pictures as to what that is. So those are, as awful as it is, those are the ones that are easier to recognize. But sometimes there are those situations that fall under the umbrella of neglect, and you can be neglected by your caregiver. But there's also something called self-neglect. And we don't always think about those situations as something that needs to be called in, but they are. So let me give you some examples. That neighbor, the grass is really high. Okay, that's not really a bad thing, all things considered. But that inside their house, they're living in squalor and the house is hoarded. And that they're losing weight because you can see when they go to the mailbox that their clothes are really starting to hang off of them. And sometimes they seem maybe a little confused. Maybe they are talking about things from the way, way back. in history and not the things that are more current events. And you think, yeah, they're telling me about their spouse, that they had breakfast with their spouse, but I know I went to the funeral for their spouse 10 years ago. You have that sense in your gut, something's not right. But then it's like, okay, what do I do with that information? It's really, really important that when you have that sense of something not being right, that you contact the Office of Healthy Aging's Adult Protective Services. Their number is 401 462 0555. And you can tell them that you have concerns about your neighbor or about your friend or about someone you care about. You can do it anonymously, because I know sometimes people are like, oh God, if I make the report, they're going to know it's me. If they get my name, then they're going to be so mad at me. You still need to make the report, but you can do it anonymously. Now, here's one of the things that can sometimes be a little challenging. When you make those reports, Adult Protective Services can't acknowledge whether or not there is or isn't a case that has been opened on the person. And that can be really frustrating because you don't know whether or not the individual is getting the help that they want. Now, here's the other thing that can be really frustrating.